Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis updated commodities, work our way through the dollar, yields, precious metals, and commodities ETFs that I follow. I'll interject my financial opinions as we go. And if you need help with anything, check out finding-value.com. I dive deeper into individual sectors, individual companies, lots of training on how to take advantage of this upcoming bull market that we have started. We still have the 50% coupon code going on, LEAP, LEAP. If you'd like to take advantage of that, it's only for the first month to try it out. On the monthly membership and on the yearly, you get a larger discount. Let's dive in here. Let's see what's going on with the markets. We've got DXY ripping to the upside. This here is going to be a little bit of pressure, just a little bit of pressure against precious metals and some of the other commodities that get priced in dollars. Sometimes people think of a stronger dollar being a tailwind behind the stock market because people will favor dollar denominated assets. But today, we are up in the dollar, and that looks to me like it wants to continue higher. It looks pretty strong here. If we zoom on out, you can also put a break here today of this. There's your pattern, and I can get rid of some of this other stuff to kind of get this out of the way. And you can see that we are breaking that to the upside today for the dollar. There it is. So we were kind of up against that, and we just broke through it. And what I think this is telling us is that we are going into what could be a stronger interest rate environment. That's what I think could potentially occur here. And one of the strong correlations to the dollar and interest rates is crude oil. So looking at the 2-year yield, we are showing strength today, up quite large, 1.76%. We do have some resistance right above us. And that does look like we're going to try to break through that resistance and move on up. The dollar is also confirming that viewpoint. We've got the 10-year yield also ripping it up almost 3% today. And guys, this is yields up 3% in yields. What the heck? Looks strong, looks good to continue higher. And that's going to be good for stronger dollar and most likely is I'm not going to say it's good for, but it's another piece of data that confirms that oil might be a concern in the market, the price of oil and inflation. QIX also just ripping higher on the 30-year here, guys. We're right up against resistance. There's still some resistance in here that we're about to clear, and that's up about 2.74% today. Big move in yields. TYX TNX ratio, so this is how the yields are moving against each other. Basically flat today. So the 30-year and 10-year flat. And again, these circles are the good spots to be buying gold, generally speaking. And we're looking for the yield curve to uninvert, but guess what? It's just not uninverting. It's staying inverted. It is down there and staying inverted. Bond prices on the 20-year looking like super high intensity trading, SHIT. It's coming back down. And again, yields going up, bond prices go down. And we can see that pricing from 2020 of July has been moving lower. And that just so happens to coincidentally be a coincidence where oil was basically starting to take off at that period almost. And we are seeing a rotation of money out of bonds into other assets. And there's your end of trend, head and shoulders topping pattern. And I expect this to continue lower with some areas of relief. The 2 and 10-year, it is still inverted. We came down a little bit, and it does look like we could potentially head a little bit lower in this yield curve, the 2 and 10. And that'll be good when it uninverts a little bit for gold. But more, longer term, we've been inverted for a while. There's that inversion, and It's staying inverted at the moment. We'll just say that, and we'll see how this plays out. Crude oil. Okay, so gold. I was going to say crude oil. Gold. This is actually a very strong day for gold. We had increasing dollar, we had increasing yields, and we had a yield curve that didn't uninvert all that much. But here's gold up $25 an ounce. I do think it's possible, and I've said this before, where gold goes up with yields going up. And that is the loss of confidence in bond market and dollar. And you could see this continue higher with time and with yields. And that is when people are afraid of the bond market. They don't want to be in it. They don't trust it. They may not even trust the currency. And that's when gold will be very in favor, and maybe even, launch big time style. Silver is also up. We're still playing with this resistance line. We're still playing around with it. We're using it as support. We're using it as resistance. Back and forth in this area. I do think it's going to break out, and I think it's going to move probably quite rapidly, like silver has in the past. But that's where we're at, and I am hoping to see that this is going to launch to the upside. Platinum is down a little bit. We are still consolidating sideways, and I still think this is a really good play. And I see a three-hump consolidation, a breakout here, a retest, and we just haven't launched to the upside yet. Inflation is going to be the launcher, guys. This is highly correlated with crude oil. It is the most inflation-sensitive precious metal. And then palladium, this is an out-of-cycle metal, is what I call it, versus the others, but we are coming back doing a retest. For those that are patient and want to try to pick bottoms, I think this general location of where this is at, it's probably going to sit on top of this for a little bit. I think it's probably a good long-term play. That's palladium, that is. XAU to gold ratio, we are still continuing to move higher with gold and silver mining companies making progress against gold itself. We are still underneath this big long-term downtrend line, and that's the line of happiness is what I call it. Haven't broken that yet, but I am expecting this to work its way on up towards that line, and hopefully we can break it. Gold and silver mining companies, they look good. They do look good. CRB index up a little bit. We are continuing that move to the upside, and I do think that will continue higher. Oil price and CRB index are highly linked, and then interest rates going up are also linked to all of this. And then that's when you see the rotation of money out of bonds and potentially out of the overall stock market, like NASDAQ, high growth stuff, and it could even come out of the S&P 500, and commodities and commodity equities will continue to go up. CRB to S&P 500 is showing that is the case as we are starting to work our way on higher. Now, is this just going to blast itself up? I don't know. I don't know the necessary path, but I do think over time it's going to work its way on higher with some time. GDX up 1.3%. We're getting close to that upper trend, the trend line that we've got up here. I think I drew this on the monthlies here. Yeah, it's on the monthlies. There's your upper trend line somewhere in this range up here. And we can potentially eventually break through this with the right market conditions ahead of us, which I do think are present. GDX J, the junior, has already broken out of its falling trend line or downward trend line, and it is working its way on up. It looks pretty good. A little bit of momentum loss with the red candlestick, but still looks good. We've got SILJ also moving on higher. We've broken out of the downtrend line, out of this falling wedge. I'm expecting a grind higher. Now, could we get a retest move out of this? We could. I'm not stating that we can't, and I'm not stating that we will. All I'm stating is we've broken out of the falling wedge, and that generally works its way on up. And a lot of the times it does do a retest. And we kind of maybe did one there. We'll find out. We could still do one of those. And if it does do that, I would consider a buying opportunity in the low nines. Pretty good. Crude oil up 1%, roughly speaking, almost $85 or $84 a barrel. Looks good. Looks good. And we've got a trend line that you can throw up here as well that comes through here. And we're basically playing with that trend line right now. And that's what we're trying to break out of. And I do think we'll break out of it. We're coming into seasonality. This is where oil is strong for summer driving season. And it's coming into tight, pretty tight inventory levels for where we are in the season. TTF gas down right up against support. I think it looks good right where we're at. We're just riding on support. We've got natural gas in America, Henry Hub. This does look, it does look like we're trying to bottom here. We've got, if I put a trend line through here, one could state that maybe this is a double bottom and we're working our way on up, and we'll probably get resistance around the $2 range. We'll probably do something like this, and then maybe we'll work our way on up. That is a guess. I'll leave that in there. We'll see if that actually plays out. And again, guys, that is just a guess. I'm not stating that's 100% in the bag. XOP, yeah, you know me, hitting it up 0.7%. We're still above the neckline, looking good, feeling good. And I do think this is going to work its way on up. It'll grind, bump and grind its way higher. OIH also up 0.45%. And it still looks good for the energy service sector to continue on higher. This is the monthly candlestick, little bloody nose or something going on, but I do think we'll work our way on up. Sprott Uranium Trust up today, up 3.64, breaking out of what could be a flag pattern. It doesn't look bad, guys. A strong closing. I think we could be going higher here. Good work for the uranium people who've held on and didn't crap their pants because we had a small pullback compared to a lot of the pullbacks that we'll probably experience in the future. This does look good. It looks like it wants to go higher. URA also looking really good, laying down a fat green candlestick with a strong closing. Looks fantastic, guys. URANIUM also looking good, breaking out of some resistance. Big, strong candlestick today with a strong closing. We do have a lot of support underneath us, and it looks like we are using that support to work our way on out of this. And URNJ also doing the same thing. Big middle finger to all those shorts. Big day today, breaking out of some resistance. I do think we could go higher. Now, probably tomorrow we'll get a bloody nose, small down day, profit-taking day. Usually does that. Just an FYI. TAN moving sideways, still looks good to go higher. We've got small selling pressure, big buying pressure on this over here. Looks good to go on up. We've got copper up 1.2%. It's sitting on top of a breakout, and it does look like it will continue higher, in my opinion. And no, I don't know the exact short-term path. I don't like playing the short term, but it looks good. COPX also up a little bit. And again, we've broken out of this resistance downtrend line, and I do think we will work our way higher. Lithium up a little bit. We do have a bullish engulfing. Still looks good to work its way on up or sideways, whichever it decides. REMX also up a little bit, and it, again, sideways or higher is where I think we are going. It looks good. And this is off of a monster sell-off for REMX, which is the rare earth metal ETF. S&P 500, we are down a little bit today. And man, this looks really weird. We've got this rising wedge, and this thing just somehow keeps extending. Could this wedge extend further out? Yes, we could extend it like this and say that we're still inside the wedge. NASDAQ, some momentum is being lost here. You can see the momentum here is up, and then we start going sideways. It's not horrible because we don't have strong selling pressure up here, huge candlesticks, but I do see bearish engulfing, kind of a rejection of a move higher here. They are there, they are present. The momentum is going to the side, is going sideways. Are we going to spill over here? We'll have to wait and see. It doesn't look horrible. There's not a ton of selling pressure here, but there is selling pressure showing its face deep within the structure of it. KRE down 1.97%, does not like the strengthening yields back to support. We do have a strong housing market, but yields and affordability are going to impact lending, potentially the housing market too. Emerging markets doesn't like that strengthening yields moving sideways. We've got XHB. We could see a little bit of a selling pressure move with interest rates going up. So that's something to watch. Could see this move on back a little bit. Moo selling back off a teeny bit today, but again, we are breaking a downtrend line. Things are looking good. It's turning around. I think we'll continue to work our way on up with time. Iron ore up 1.18%. This has got a lot of momentum coming back down. Let's wait and see. Take a wait and see approach. Let's see if that gap gets filled, what the candlesticks look like. Are they big? Are they small? Are we going to roll back over? That's kind of what I'm looking for. Nickel up a little bit. This is going to be basing out here. Give it some time. It'll work its way through it. Aluminum's up 1.5%. Aluminum looks really good. Really good to keep continuing to go higher. So that looks good. Baltic Dry Index down a little bit, probably with, well, iron ore was up a little bit, but it still looks okay. We're right above support. We've got Newcastle coal up a little bit, 0.7%. I do think this looks really good to go on higher. If we see oil go up and natural gas go up, I would expect coal to go up with it. So that is one that I do think is basing out. And has it been long enough basing? It's probably pretty close. You can start throwing some downtrend lines on here. We see it break out. Yeah, it's getting close here, guys. Bitcoin down 1.93%. Oh man, look at this. Look at this mess. We've got kind of, this can be confusing. We're squeezing up, but we do have a bearish engulfing here, which could indicate a move lower. We also have one that is here. And another thing that you look at is, if we peak here and we peak here, that could be a downward move. But again, the short term, hardest to nail right. Let's wait and see what candlestick we get here the next trading day or two. And then Ethereum's also getting some selling pressure. I threw this in last time. Good, strong selling pressure move. And generally this works its way down. It's a continuation pattern. And today we got a bearish engulfing, which means we could easily work our way down in the short term. SMCI, I've got that in there. We were up 2.7%. Is this a shoulder, head, shoulder with the neckline there? We'll find out. I'll just leave it there. We'll continue to monitor it. And then NVIDIA also getting a little bit of selling pressure. Notice the buyers, they're not really answering back. Started with this bearish engulfing here, started another bearish engulfing here. It took a lot of effort to get up here. We had follow through here, small buying pressure. That looks good to go lower in the short term. So that's NVIDIA. Could this be a topping pattern? It very well could be. Am I betting any money on it? No, I'm not doing anything with this. We're just watching it for fun. So that's what I've got for today, guys. Give me a thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel. Looking at it to sum up what I'm seeing, oil looks strong. Uranium looks very good. Let's hope that momentum can continue. I think it looks like a lot of these uranium stocks probably are bottoming around here. And if you want to get jiggy with it, that's up, that's up with you. And a lot of the commodities don't look that bad. Aluminum looks strong. Nat gas looks like it's trying to put in some sort of bottom. We'll see how that materializes. Coal doesn't look too bad. Kind of upbeat on energy. I like that the interest rates are kind of interest rates and energy generally go up together. So that's kind of where I'm getting my upbeat kind of thinking in the energy sector. So stronger yields, energy looks good. Precious metals looks good too. Let's hope the momentum continues. That's all I've got. We'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.